Good day, everyone. By the way, we are the group one, and the topic that we are going to tackle is all about the principles of ship handling. And this is to be reported by Dicadit Ampong, Dicadit Abayon, Dicadit Adlawan, Dicadit Albano, Dicadit Almeres, Dicadit Alves, Dicadit Bargaminto, Dicadit Paterna, Dicadit Patukan, Dicadit Birami, Dicadit Cariquitan, and Dicadit Carcido. And our objectives are first is to describe the different principles in ship handling, and second is to explain the significance of deadweight, draft, trim, speed, underkeel clearance, turning circles, and stopping distance in ship handling.
So good day everyone. My assigned topic for the subject SIM 3 to 5 is about ship handling and maneuvering. So the first thing that we need to know is what is ship handling and maneuvering. So it is defined as the art of proper control of a ship while underway, especially in harbors, around docks and piers. It is one of the skills that any ship handler finds very satisfying when well accomplished. So the most basic thing to be understood in ship handling is to know and anticipate how a ship behaves under all circumstances and what orders should be given in order to make the ship behave and move exactly the way you want her to. So the difference between the ship's heading and actual direction of movement of the ship should also be constantly attended to, as this is essentially important at slow speeds and when there are wind and current. So that would be all. Thank you.
So three basic ship motions. Number one, longitudinal motion or forward or stern. Number two, lateral motion or sideways. Number three, rotational or turning motion. Vessels also have behaviors worth nothing when her maneuvering equipment is in operation. Depending on the type of propeller, a ship with single propeller will run ahead from ship cans to either port or starboard. When to put astern from stop the stern cans as fast to rate to port or starboard. When a ship has headway and the rudder is put over to one side, the bow on the same side will the rudder is turned. Thrusters, on the other hand, move the vessel's end sideways. Thrusters, depending on its design, increases its effectiveness as the vessel slows down.
So here we have factors and forces that commonly constitute a change in a vessel's behavior while being maneuvered. So external factors or forces are tide, sudden change in wind velocity and direction or gust, set and drift, the proximity of other vessels, and depth of harbors. Next, we have internal factors or forces under the control of the ship handler. So first, we have engine power, speed, effect of the type of propeller, rudder movement and type, thrusters, anchors and mooring lines, and lastly, tugboats.
So here we have the effect of external force. So the first one is the effect of external force may become advantageous or disadvantageous to the ship handler. Second, it is the best that these effects are foreseen beforehand so that necessary steps to counter or make use of them during the maneuver are made. And the third one, as some expert put it, the art of ship handling involves the effective use of the force under one's control to overcome the effect of external forces.
So the other variable factors affecting ship's handling. So there are five. So the first is human factor. So human factor, a delay in time between your given order and execution of the other will affect how you intend to move your ship. This is caused by human factors because the individuals you are enduring may have different responses depending on their training and ability to perform the job. Or the other orders have to be relayed by offer of the helmsman, which is a bad practice that should be avoided so that a commanding officer should be give his orders directly to the helmsman. So second is sudden breakdown or failure of the ship's equipment. Third is mode of communication failure from bridge to engine room or vice versa or to the force of aft station. Fourth is language problem between nationalities. And fifth is momentum.
Good day, I'm Decadet J.O.D. Bergamento. So our topic is significance of deadweight, draft, trim, speed, underkeel clearance, turning circles, and stopping distance in ship handling. So, turning circles and stopping distance. The advance of a ship for a given alteration of course is the distance that her compass platform moves in the direction of her original of advance, measured from the point where rudder is put over. The transfer of a ship for a given alteration of course is the distance that her compass platform moves at right angles to her original line of advance, measured from the point where the rudder is put over.
So the next is the following factors determine the acceleration power of the ship. The momentum of the ship depends upon the mass of the ship and the speed of the ship. Thus, a lighter ship will gain or lose speed faster than a deeply loaded ship. If a large tanker is taken as an example of, then at the same speed, it will travel longer after the engine is stopped. When the tanker is in a full loaded condition, the reverse will happen when the tanker is on ballast. That is, it will travel a lesser distance. For starting up also after the first movement is given, a loaded tanker will come to the designed speed slower than the same tanker will it ballast.
The shape of the underwater part of the hull also plays an important part. Two tankers of the same displacement would have entirely different accelerating and decelerating speeds. The tanker which has finer lines than the other would be able to travel further after the engines are stopped, as well as start and reach design speed faster. Another factor is the condition of the ship's bottom in the underwater part of the hull. If the undersides are fouled with marine growth, then there would be a drag, and the effect on the startup would not be that affected, but the travel distance after the engines are stopped would be shorter. If the underkeel clearance is low, then the effect is both ways. That is, the ship will take longer to reach her design speed from top, as well as she travel longer when the engines are stopped.
Factors affecting speed. Foul bottom. If a ship lies for long in harbor, particularly in a tropical harbor, her bottom becomes fouled by weeds, barnacles, and other marine parasites or growth, and the speed attainable with a given number of revolution is reduced. Next is shallow water. Shallow water is when a ship is moving in shallow water, the gap between the ship's hull and the bottom is restricted, and the streaming flow of water past the hull is altered, and that result is seen as greatly increased transverse wave formations at the bows and again at the stern.
I am Decadet Berame Nicole John, and I'm here to tackle about the factors affecting a ship's handling qualities. Draught, trim, and loading. On a general cargo ship or tanker, the difference between the turning qualities when lightly laden and when fully laden is very marked. When deeply laden, a cargo ship has a much larger turning circle than when lightly laden, and she is more sluggish in answering her rudder. Next is list. List is the effect of a list is to hinder a turn in the direction of the list and assist a turn away from it. A list to port decreases the tactical diameter of a ship turning to starboard and vice versa. Effect of hull form on turning circle. A ship of line underwater from container ship will return in a larger circle than a ship of similar length and route but a fuller form. The ship with larger cut-up area ABC will have a smaller turning circle than one with a smaller cut-up area ADX. Effect of single screw on turning circle. In a ship fitted with a single right-handed fixed pitch screw, most of the ship, the sideways force exerted by the propeller creates a tendency for the ship to turn to port when going ahead. That's all. Thank you.
Next is turning. So, effect of a turn on speed. The effect of the drag of the rudder and the sideways drift of the ship will result in a progressive loss of speed while turning. Even though the engine revolutions are maintained at a constant figure, for alteration of course of up to 20 degrees, the reduction speed may not be very great, but for those between 20 degrees and 90 degrees, the speed usually falls off rapidly. For alteration exceeding 90 degrees, speed may continue to fall slightly, but it usually remains more or less steady. The rate of deceleration depends upon the initial speed of the ship and the angle of rudder applied, and it varies greatly between different types of ship. So, next is hail when turning. The initial hail when the wheel is put over is inwards because the rudder force is acting at a point below the center gravity of the ship. So as the ship begins to turn, the centrifugal force on the hull, which is greater than the rudder force, acting through water pressure at a point below the center of gravity, overcomes the tendency to hail inwards and causes her to hail outwards. This outward hail is very noticeable when turning at good speed. If the wheel is eased quickly, the angle of outward hail will increase because the counteractive rudder force is removed while the centrifugal force remains until the rate of turning decreases. Should an alarming hail develop, speed should be reduced instantly. So that's all.